Hello and welcome back to Vizura Recaps. The film opens with the introduction of Martin, an elderly man who manages a bakery in a little hamlet in France. Martin then burns it while preparing bread. Then, when asked by his wife, he says that he was thinking about Charlie and that he should not commit himself. His wife responds that he should not worry about any of this and that a smart man would never commit himself. Then Martin goes to his neighbor Charlie's house, where Charlie is burning his wife Gemma's clothing. Then Charlie heads home to do some work. Martin finds Gemma's journal in a box and takes it with him. When Martin returns home, he begins reading his journal, and the events of that day are depicted in flashback. Charlie came to live in this village for the first time with his wife Gemma, hoping to spend the rest of their lives here happily. When Martin notices these two newcomers, he goes to their house to introduce himself and welcome them to his hamlet. A few days later, Gemma and Charlie visit Martin's bakery to purchase bread. Martin maintains his gaze fixed on Gemma's attractiveness. Later, on his way home, Martin sees Gemma and brings her to a lovely garden that Gemma enjoys. That same night, Charlie visits Martin's residence and informs him that the electricity has gone off. So Martin goes to their house to check and miraculously switches the lights back on. Martin's wife had also arrived. The four of them start conversing while drinking, but Martin will only see Gemma throughout this time. A few days later, Gemma returns to Martin's bakery. Martin asks Gemma if she knows how I prepare bread. So, Gemma agrees to watch it. Martin then leads her to the back room, where he used to prepare bread. While cooking the same bread, Martin asks Gemma how she feels about this. Gemma says, "I feel great, like if I'm doing some yoga." Martin responds, explaining that he does this yoga every morning. It was really hot in that room, so Gemma began to feel hot. So, she removes her sweater. Seeing all of this, Martin is unable to resist staring at Gemma's physique. In the next scenario, Martin and his wife, Charlie and Gemma's buddy, are eating lunch at their home. After this, while Gemma was monitoring her house with a friend, her friend told her that girls should always take care of their bodies. That is why she exercises daily. Gemma's situation appears to be similar, so she begins exercising the next day. In the coming day, we see Martin on his way to meet Gemma. He questions Gemma about why she has not been to buy bread in several days. Gemma claims she's dieting, so she stopped eating bread for a few days. Then, as Gemma was leaving after finishing the discussion, a worm bit her back. Gemma is in a lot of agony, so she screams and rushes Martin over, telling him that an insect has attacked her back. Martin then checks Gemma's back and informs her that she has been bitten by a venomous bug, which is why he must suck out its poison. And when Gemma urges Martin to do this, he instantly begins sucking and comes out. Only then does a youngster called Harv arrive and, upon witnessing Martin doing this, asks him what is going on. Martin was starting to realize the issue when Gemma fell and fainted. Seeing this, Harv and Martin rush her to the hospital, where the doctor administers an injection to Gemma. There is no need to panic now. While returning home, Gemma places her head on Martin's shoulder, which makes Martin quite pleased, and he begins to suspect that Gemma is starting to like him. Gemma ran across Harv again one day while shopping for wine at the store. Harv tells Gemma about his favorite wine. Gemma purchases the same wine. Next, we encounter Martin, who is on his way home from delivering bread. Only then does he notice Gemma walking someplace, so he stops to visit him and Gemma enters into Harv's house. After seeing all of this, Martin becomes concerned as to why Gemma must have gone into Harv's house alone. However, his reasoning is incorrect, since the same night, when he goes to Gemma's house for supper, he notices a hickey on Gemma's neck, which leads him to believe that something happened between Harv and Gemma today. Most of Martin feels horrible since he wanted to be himself instead of Harv, and the partner blames himself for everything because if Gemma and Harv hadn't met that day, none of this would have occurred. The next day, Martin notices Harv, who appears to be under a lot of stress, so he approaches her and asks what's up. Harv claims that he is unable to focus on his academics at all. Martin then proposes that he contact his girlfriend for assistance. After a while, Martin notices Gemma leaving, and we later find Gemma having fun with Harv at his place, proving that Gemma is having an affair with Harv. A few days pass like this, and Martin was only thinking about Gemma. Gemma arrives at Martin's bakery one day, beaming with joy. She informs Martin that Charlie has traveled to London for a few days. Furthermore, Gemma purchases some bread, but she forgets one, which Martin subsequently offers her. He walks to his house and hears some sounds from within. Gemma was with Harv inside the home. Martin then listens to both of them from the window. Both of them were saying "I love you" to each other, which made Martin furious. Following this, Gemma visits Harv's residence. She accidentally breaks Harv's mother's extremely valuable idol from her hands, to which Gemma promises to restore it. Before departing, Gemma suggests that both of us go to London, which Harv agrees to. The next day, Harv's mother has returned home and she has inquired about the idol owing to her inability to locate it. Harv claims that there were scratches on the idol, so he gave it to Charlie nearby to repair. Gemma was on her way to meet Harv at his house when she received a message from him stating that he would be unable to accompany her to London. Gemma is devastated by this news and returns home in tears. Furthermore, Harv's mother approaches Charlie and requests his idol, but Charlie declines, claiming that no one has given him an idol to repair. Charlie approaches Gemma about the idol at night, but she refuses. We can also observe that she was attempting to communicate with Charlie but was unable to do so. Seeing this, we may deduce that Gemma planned to inform Charlie about her affair, but first Charlie notices that Gemma hasn't been paying attention to him in a long time, so he travels to London for a few days. Gemma is now alone, which saddens her deeply. The next day, on his way out, Martin comes upon Gemma's puppy and brings it to Gemma's house. At home, Gemma offers him a note written in French to read. In that letter, Harv's mother inquired about Charlie's idol. Gemma also requests that Martin send a response to this letter, but Martin responds that he would do it in writing within a day or two. After a few days, Gemma meets her ex-boyfriend Patrick and Martin witnesses the two of them kissing on the way. Martin is stunned by this, and he begins to suspect Gemma is a characterless girl. When Gemma and Patrick were at the restaurant, she realized she was doing something wrong. So she encourages Patrick to forget about whatever transpired between them since she still loves her husband, Charlie. When Gemma returns home, she phones Charlie and tells him how much she loves him and cannot live without him. When Charlie hears this, he becomes distraught and goes to return to Gemma. Then, when Martin enters the house, he is surprised to see Gemma dead. The police are contacted and Gemma's body is sent for a post-mortem examination. The post-mortem report is delivered the same night. Martin then hears from the doctor that Gemma's death was caused by bread caught in her throat. The same thing happened the next day. Martin informs Charlie at the burial, to which Charlie responds that Gemma died as a result of him since when he entered the home, he observed Patrick shoving Gemma from behind, which he felt after watching Patrick coercing Gemma. So, as he starts arguing with him, Patrick arrives and informs him that when Gemma was eating bread, he kissed her from behind, causing the bread to become trapped in her neck. Charlie arrived when they were attempting to express themselves, and they both got into a fight as a result of misunderstanding. Now, they were both so caught up in the dispute that they forgot about Gemma, who died of asphyxia. The flashback stops here, and we see Martin's son arrive in the present, informing him that a Russian couple has moved into our neighborhood. When Martin hears this, he rushes to meet them. And with that, we've reached the conclusion of our video. I sincerely hope you found it enjoyable and insightful. If you did, why not consider subscribing to our channel? By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest content and ensure that you don't miss out on future videos similar to this one. If you found the video particularly helpful or entertaining, please take a moment to show your support by pressing the like button. Your likes not only encourage us to keep creating valuable content but also help our channel reach a wider audience. Do you have a favorite movie that you'd love to see us recap or analyze? We're always eager to hear from our viewers and fulfill their requests. So, don't hesitate to leave a comment below with your movie suggestions and we'll do our best to make it happen. Thank you for watching and remember to take care until we meet again. Stay tuned for more exciting content coming your way soon.